What kind of country does not protect its senior citizens? What kind of country forgets about the people who don't have family or any money or the wherewithal to navigate the system?
I'm 51 years old and I have no retirement saved. I raised my girls by myself. I worked multiple jobs. I did everything right.
I'm 53, no pension. I waited longer than I should have. I assumed things would work out. I thought I had more time.
I'm going to be 55 this year, and I had to face something really uncomfortable. I have worked since I was 15, and I have nothing saved for retirement.
Look, these aren't people who never work. That's what I noticed immediately. These are people who work for decades, raised families, paid bills, showed up every day, and now they're looking at retirement and realizing there may not be one. And what's scary is that every last one of these people sounds shocked. Not because they didn't know retirement was important, but because they genuinely thought there would be more time, more money, more opportunities to catch up. And now they're realizing they're running out of runway. The bigger question is this: how do you work your entire life and still end up here? Because we're hearing this story more and more, not just from one person, not just from one state, but from millions of Americans. And I think that's why these clips are hitting such a nerve.
I did everything right. I paid the bills, I showed up, I kept the lights on, and every time life happened, a car repair, a medical bill, or a kid who needed something, I pulled from wherever I had set a tiny bit aside, because that's what moms do. And then I took a $10,000 pay cut to protect my mental health because I was drowning. And somehow I ended up $10,000 in debt. Tell me how we can work this hard for decades, do everything we were told to do, and still end up near retirement with nothing waiting for us.
How the hell are we supposed to retire? Because my whole damn check goes to gas, groceries, daycare, and my damn utilities. And my whole check is gone. How the hell am I supposed to retire when the prices look like this? I'm supposed to work until I die? And in the older generation, they had it easy. They really did have it easy because at least you could retire. And you didn't even work, your husband worked, you got to stay home with your kids. Somebody need to save us because there is no way we about to retire at the ripe age of 60 motherfucking 5. We not. We're going to be working till we 98. You know, we're still probably going to be in debt. What happened to the American dream? It turned into the American scheme. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. I want to scream. Ah! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm tired of this shit. The way these gas prices are, we're going to be sitting at home.
I'll be 53 years old this year, and full transparency, like no retirement. Like I've done a terrible job with that. A lot of that is, raising kids and all the excuses, but I just haven't really been good with my money. And that's the truth. What little I had, I could have done better with, but now's the time. I've been laying awake at night for the last couple of years. Like, how the hell am I going to retire? I'll just work till I'm 90. And, there's a lot to learn as somebody that's just getting into the stock market and learning new things. I'm blessed to have my youngest son that's kind of really, really good at that kind of stuff. So he steered me in the right direction. But, is there anybody out there in their 50s that is like, oh shit, retirement's coming up. What am I going to do? And what are you doing? Like, how are you going about it? I don't know. It's just a lot. There's a lot of information out there. I feel like right now is a really good time to start investing, even though things are at all-time highs. Maybe not. I really have no idea what I'm doing. Just figuring it out. If you have any tips, I know you're not a financial advisor, but it's always good to share information. I've been learning a lot from TikTok people. There's a lot of opinions out there. Anyway, just sharing what's been going on. Hope you have a blessed day.
We did everything right. We worked hard, we paid our bills, we raised our children the right way. So can somebody explain why in my 50s, my husband and I, we're living paycheck to paycheck? Retirement seems so completely out of reach. At this point, I feel like I'm going to be working till I'm 80 years old. I get a couple of years that I can sit back and relax. I'm so done with feeling stuck and definitely looking for a way out. So if you're in your 50s and you deserve more, comment me and let's figure this all out together.
45 years old, and I'm supposed to be saving for retirement, but yet I can't afford a trip to the grocery store. I can't fill my freezer. We have to just get the basics for each week because groceries are through the roof, gas is through the roof, and we haven't gotten any raises to combat that. How the hell are we supposed to retire? How are you Gen X mamas? How is Gen X generation even making it? Are we going to retire?
Retirement? I couldn't even pay rent. I was 50 with no savings and no clue what to do next. They told us to work hard and retire one day, but they didn't tell us how to survive when life doesn't go as planned. I lost my spouse. I lost my stability.
What really stands out to me is that nobody in these clips is talking about high luxury expensive items. Nobody's talking about yachts. Nobody's talking about fancy vacations. They're talking about rent, groceries, gas, basic survival. And when people who work for 30 or 40 years are struggling to afford basic survival, that's a completely different conversation. The other thing I notice is how much shame keeps coming up. People feel embarrassed. People feel like they failed. But when you hear story after story after story that sounds almost identical, you have to start asking whether this is bigger than individual mistakes. Because if millions of people are ending up in the same situation, maybe we're looking at a system-wide problem, not just a personal one.
Is there anybody out there besides me, senior citizen wise, that has trouble making ends meet on just your Social Security check? If you're like me, I struggle to pay my bills, put food on the table, gas in my vehicle, and outside of that, there wasn't much left to do anything. No extras or any money for me to do things that I want to do.
Imagine being a senior citizen and having no place to sleep. 20% of all seniors 55 and up are out on the streets because they can't afford their housing. I'm Pastor Steve. I've worked with the homeless in New York City several times, and I know the plight that they have. They're not just homeless, they feel helpless. And government housing in many cities is at capacity, so there's no place for them. They need help, and I know many agencies and individuals do reach out and help them. But they need more than money. They need more than food and clothing. They need a way to get out of the situation they're in.
I work with seniors, and I want to update you guys on how some of these incredible people living in this really rich country. I have found people without bread and milk in their fridge. I have found people with not even $20 in their bank account for an emergency. This past week, I had a client that I was picking up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. When I got to his door, he was needing to go to the ER because they couldn't afford to call an ambulance because they have so much medical debt. He has all kinds of lung issues. He did not get his oxygen machine covered. He had to pay for that. He had to pay for hearing aids, and he had to pay a $300 fee for a backup battery to this life-saving machine he needs to breathe. I take people into the dollar store for groceries. There is no nutritious food there. They are suffering and struggling. We are not taking care of our vets. We are not taking care of our elderly. They're not even taking care of us.
After watching all these clips, I think the fear isn't poverty. The fear is spending your entire life working and still not being secure. That's what people are reacting to. These aren't people asking for luxury. They're not asking for mansions. They're not asking for expensive cars. They're asking for dignity. They're asking for a roof over their head. They're asking for enough money to buy groceries and pay their bills after decades of work. And honestly, that's why so many younger people are paying attention to stories like this, because they're looking at these people and wondering, is this what my future looks like? I want to know what you think. Did these people simply make bad decisions? Or is the cost of living making retirement harder than ever for average Americans? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you made it this far, please hit the like button or the hype button, or maybe both. I would greatly appreciate it. Till next time, peace.